Liam, how are you today, sir?
Yeah, I'm all good, thank you. You?
Very good. In case you weren't made aware, I'm speaking to you all the way from Malaysia. It's a long way from where you are right now. It's already 9:30 at night, so thanks for taking the time to speak to us.
No worries, no worries.
Let's start with the reaction to the weekend. What a game. You must be bitterly disappointed not to hold on for the victory.
Yeah, no, I think obviously we got ourselves in a really good position, but I think we've shown at times, you know, we can get ourselves into really good positions, but they've got really good players, so I think we held on as much as we could, but you know, I think, you know, two good bits of skill and goals have held them in.
Okay, true. Let's talk a little bit about your career so far. You've had loan spells, but how important was it to leave the safety net of Manchester City and the setup they have there in search of full-time football?
No, I think it was so important. I think I just wanted to go and play football and go and get experience, and I think that's helped me so much. You know, I think obviously I've been on 3 loans now, and they've been really good for me. I've learnt a lot at each place I've been. You know, I probably struggled once or twice, but got there in the end, and I think, you know, you probably learn more in the bad times than in the good times. So I think, yeah, that's so important for a young player, especially I believe so, that it was more important to go and get more experience elsewhere.
Okay. What about Ipswich specifically? How did the move come about?
I think obviously I spoke to the manager in summer, and he showed his interest, and I think after I'd spoke to him, you know, I knew that he could improve me as a player and help me so much, and you know, I really believed in the project, and you know, I've been really happy.
When it comes to the manager, he's so highly regarded. He's still relatively young as well. Not the youngest in the division, but still very young. What is it about him, now that you've worked with him for almost an entire season, that makes him a standout head coach?
I just think his details and, you know, his understanding of the game, and probably improving everyone and kind of getting the best out of everyone. I think he's definitely helped me individually, but also in a team structure as well, so much from the first day I came in, and to see what he does with everyone else as well, you know, it's incredible.
He also seems like a very good communicator. That must surely be important to you.
Yeah, definitely. I think, you know, you can always go and speak to him whenever you like, and I think that's also important.
You're another example of a player that's left the City setup as a young player and established yourself elsewhere, thriving. Is anybody else who's done something similar that you're still close to?
Yeah, I think obviously I know I played with Maka and Morgan and Cole and TJ, and you know, Oscar's still there, but Slicks is here, like Tommy's at Wolves. There's so many, I think. Obviously, still speak to them quite regularly, and you know, everyone's doing well, so I'm really happy for everyone.
Yeah, it's quite a super team if you had put all those players together, I have to say.
Yeah. No,
Can I ask, how different was Championship football compared to the Premier League? Because you've taken to it like a duck to water.
no, I think obviously that probably set me up and helped me. I think obviously the Premier League for me is just probably a little bit faster and more physical. You know, everyone's a bit quicker and a bit stronger, but I think the Championship is still so hard. You know, you play so many games, and you know, it's such a tough division. I don't think people understand the quality, and you know, that there is in the Championship, because it's incredible. I think it's, you know, really tough, but you know, it really helped me.
They say it's the most competitive league in Europe, but it's interesting you just said that it's more physical in the Premier League. I was always under the impression the Championship was more physical.
Yeah, I think there's probably more tackles and stuff in the Championship. There's probably no VAR, but I think physically, in terms of, you know, the strength and stuff, Premier League's probably a little bit higher.
Okay. Can I ask, is your dad somebody you seek for advice and guidance in your career? I've worked with a lot of individuals that have played or managed your dad, so I just want your input. Is he a big figure in your life?
Yeah, obviously I speak to him every day, you know, whether it's about life or football or golf or whatever, I think. But whenever he's there, and I want some advice, I can ask him, and you know, he'll give me really honest advice. You know, he's been there and done it, so he knows what it takes. And I think every time, you know, there's something wrong or I need some bit of advice, I'll ask him.
And I'm wondering now, how is your throw?
Nah, I'm not a thrower. I can't really throw a football. I can throw a stone, like, but not a football.
No, your dad was unique for that. I think
Yeah.
it's safe to say. 12 goals, 2 assists is a phenomenal tally. I think it surprised quite a few people. Did you have a target to hit in terms of goal involvements before the season started? Have you reached it? Have you exceeded it?
No, I think I'm probably not that type of guy, you know, to do that. I think I just came into this season, you know, knowing it was my first season in the Premier League, and knowing that I just wanted to improve and play football and kind of help the team. I think numbers-wise, I didn't set a total, but you know, I think it's gone really well.
It certainly has. And in your opinion, what are your strengths as a player on the pitch?
I think I'm quite aggressive, you know, direct. I think I use my strength and my pace quite well, and you know, I think I've showed this season that my finishing's okay.
It's more than okay, but the reason I ask that question is you're often viewed as one of the only traditional English number 9s in the game, at least at the highest level in English football. Do you feel it's a dying art?
Yeah, I think obviously probably been, you know, I don't know. I think everyone's different. I think that's just always been me as a player. You know, I've always liked to be aggressive and always liked to, you know, put my body about. So yeah, I think I'm not going to change that.
The next game is another big one. It's against Arsenal. You only lost narrowly 1-0 in the reverse fixture, and it's going to be a first visit to Portman Road for what I believe should be most of the Arsenal squad. What kind of atmosphere and game do you think they're going to be receiving as the visitors?
I think obviously the atmosphere is always electric. You know, the fans there are terrific, and you know, we've just got to go and show how good a team we are and show that our confidence and belief is still, you know, sky high, and you know, hopefully make it a tough day for them.
Yeah, should be an entertaining game. I've got about 2 minutes, so I'm going to give you some quick fire questions. Just some fun ones.
Yeah.
Your favorite, starting with TV show. What's your favorite TV show? What can you recommend me?
Prison Break.
Every footballer says Prison Break, I swear. Doesn't matter how old or young they are, they always say Prison Break. What is it about the show?
Michael Scofield, just, yeah, incredible.
True. What about your favorite movie?
Oh, I got Laura Biden, Citizen.
Gerard Butler,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Good movie, good choice. What about your hobbies? Do you have any hobbies outside of football? Don't say gym or something.
Nah, golf, darts, you know, the classic ones.
Were you watching the Masters? Rory McIlroy, finally?
Yeah, nah, he's incredible. You know, he's my favourite by a long way, and you know, I was so happy that he finally did it.
Unbelievable result. Favorite video game, if you play video games?
Go Fortnite back in the day.
Fortnite. And give me a song that you're listening to right now. What's on your playlist? What's number 1?
Bit of Jamie Webster we listened to before, so yeah.
Nice.
I got that.
Final series of questions. I have about a minute left, so I want you to build your perfect player. Who are you going with for left foot?
Messi.
Who are you going for right foot?
Ronaldo.
Heading?
Ronaldo.
Ronaldo again. Just to clarify, this is the Portuguese Ronaldo, yeah?
Yeah, Cristiano, yeah.
Attitude?
Sorry?
Attitude. Who has the best attitude?
Oh, I think I'll go what obviously I know of. I'll go Connor Chaplin.
Pace. Who's a speed merchant?
Mbappe.
Footballing IQ.
Busquets.
All right. And final one, strength.
Akinfenwa.
Okay, oh, it's a good choice. All right, Liam, thank you so much for taking the time. All the best for the rest of the season, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.